Welcome everyone to another AZ Ray video. Today we're going to talk about the Gunbuster anime directed by Hideaki Anno. So Gunbuster is a very compelling anime. It's about an anime about being trapped in time. I'm going to do my best to make this a spoiler-free review. Not going to talk too much about the plot, but just going to give you my overall thoughts regarding this anime. But if you're curious about this anime has a lot going on. It has time travel, it has cool giant mech like machines and whatnot. And it's also a coming of age story about an underdog and whatnot. So it has a compelling element to it. So the way we're going to break this film down is one, we're going to do a plot summary, talk about the growing up elements to the film, and then we're just going to give my review on it. So right now we're going to get into the plot summary. So the plot talks about the compelling story of Noriko Tanaya, right? And her just struggling with her confidence. And she's doing her best to try to grow up and empower herself in a time of need. We see this giant conflict that's happening in this world, and she needs to step up and try to combat it. Since the anime is essentially a short anime that talks about like an alien invasion and how the world is responding to it and coming together to try to combat this alien invasion, the main character, Noriko Tanaya, is doing her best to try to combat and trying to like become the soldier that the world needs. And it's a little bit of an underdog story because it doesn't come to her easy. She has to work hard and she's trying her best. She has the desire, she has the will to be good, but it takes her a lot of time to try to be an effective combatant, to be an effective soldier. And it's a very enduring and challenging path for the main character. So I can see the appeal of this anime without a doubt. It has a very compelling story, and you can't help but root for the main character of Noriko because she's like doing her best to overcome all her other various like opponents or competition or competitors, adversaries, however you want to kind of like phrase that, because she has like other people that she's doing her best to try to be better than, and she's just the underdog trying her best to overcome. So although it takes a couple episodes for like the story to kind of build up and whatnot, after the third episode it starts building up and starts having a more important and like a lot of plot progression. So it's a short anime. The build-up's worth it, and you start seeing like the compelling characters, the compelling storyline and whatnot. And honestly, the finale is so worth it. It has a very like artistic flair to it, and you can't help but like just enjoy it. It's a very strong ending. It's one of the best things of this anime. So I definitely recommend this anime, but there is some tropes if you can get behind it. There is some nudity, there is some 80s gimmicks and whatnot. Story isn't for everybody, but if you can like look past some of the different elements, you're gonna get a very compelling, heartwarming story. So this takes us into our next section with growing up. The anime does a really good job of talking about growing up and the various struggles and the challenges that it is being a woman or even like a person, non-gender binary in this world, just trying to exist. It's not always easy, right? And like the feeling of being left behind and like, the cost of freedom, right? The classic trope of like a kid wanting to grow up, but realizing that growing up is not all that it's cut out and meant to be, right? Growing up, you have to deal with a lot of responsibilities. Sometimes we romanticize the idea of being an adult and having the different like freedoms and whatnot, but freedom always comes at a cost, especially in an anime like this when the freedom and the ability to be empowered comes at a stake of an alien invasion, right? You got to step up. There's this real giant threat. It's not only a journey of a person becoming confident, but it's the journey of a person having the belief in themselves that they can overcome the obstacle that they have ahead of them. So it is a very compelling story when it comes to the human challenges of a person like feeling ready and feeling like worthy and not feeling left behind when the competition, everybody's kind of doing better than you. But can you step up to the occasion? Can you perform when all the challenges are ahead of you? It's easier said than done, but I felt like the anime did a great job of illustrating that message of just being ready for the moment and just kind of believing yourself and like the struggles of confidence. Confidence is like this is like a never-ending path, and sometimes we have our own mental warfare within our minds when it comes to confidence. So now this takes us to our next section, which is the review and my overall thoughts of this anime. So this anime isn't perfect, right? It has like a deep subplot and has a lot of different elements to it, but it also does have like dorky, immature humor. I know it's not for everybody. Maybe all the audience isn't like willing to take part of it. And this anime is definitely not for kids. It's definitely probably leaned towards older adults, maybe like 17 and older and whatnot. And it does have a lot of deep themes. I'm going to have to give this anime a 7.5. It has a lot of appeal to it, in my opinion. You know, it has sci-fi elements, it has mech elements, and it's also a coming of age story. And the anime is only 6 episodes, and I can see why it's such a beloved anime. It has a very empowering message, and it just kind of reminds us like the ability of human potential. There's nothing that a human can't overcome. Is it going to be easy? No, of course not. Does it take a lot of dedication? Absolutely. Does it require discipline? Absolutely. Does it mean that you have to be a better version than yourself than you are today? Absolutely. And I think that message is a very empowering and beautiful takeaway. If you're curious about this anime, I highly recommend it. In my opinion, it has a very compelling and strong ending, and I highly recommend it. So that's been my breakdown from A to Z. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have an amazing day, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if there's a topic that you want me to cover. And thank you guys for watching this video.